Hey guys, welcome to the first Readathon. How are you guys doing?
Hey,
How are you doing, Jen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I think we are going to discuss So Let Them Burn, and then we got to do our first secret guest, which I don't. We didn't do any hints like I was going to do hints throughout the day, but I had a really busy work day. But our secret guest for the first meeting is
Ta-da!
Helen.
Hello.
But
Thanks for having me.
let's see, we got some comments from beforehand.
Hi,
Wasn't
Capricia.
able to finish it to get past the first chat. Hey, I've been in a huge slump all year.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I didn't get the book as a birthday gift. That is fat
Hmm.
mood. Oh no, slump. Sorry. Here. Hey, Courtney. Hey, Elises. But
Yay.
so yeah, there's everybody. Okay, so let's go. What are your guys' ratings?
I gave it 4 stars.
Y'all have
Four
to
stars.
forgive me. I'm in the middle of snacking on some nuts because I'm starving.
I gave it a 3-star. I still really liked it, and I will be continuing the series. But I did kind of have a little bit like I had some issues with it, but not like world-ending issues. They were just like that was like it made me put it down to a 3. Just pulled yourself out of a slump. A disease, and then okay, 4 stars. Okay, that's good.
Nice.
All right.
Good, Courtney.
Since Helen finished the most recently,
Oh,
do
you're
you
not.
want?
Oh, but Courtney said she's not going to continue the series, even though she gave it 4 stars.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, Courtney doesn't really read series like that.
I guess that's true. I think it might just be a duology.
Yeah, it is a duology from what I've heard. I have only heard.
So it's not too much of a commitment, Courtney.
Yeah.
So, but what were you wanting me to do, Paco?
Since you finished it most recently, can you give us like your basic overall thoughts while Jen remembers theirs from when they finished it?
I guess my overall thoughts are that the characters are really interesting, really compelling. I loved the world. Like, I felt like I was walking through the streets of the city, like hearing and smelling and feeling like just the culture felt really real. Like, it felt like I was in the streets of a Caribbean town. Like, just the way that the food was described, like that part really sucked me in. And then the religion was really cool and really interesting. And it felt really real. Like, so for me, the world building felt like, I think, the strongest part. The characters were good. Frustrating as hell as time. Like, yeah, like what Jen's doing. Like, there's a few times where it got really frustrating, but I think for me, the world building, I love the dragons, the dragon school. I actually felt very heartwarming a few times, like at the dragon school. I was not expecting that, and it felt really nice that she had friends while she was there. And I love the sister. The sister, I think, was the best character.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jen, are you ready for your overall thoughts, or should I go?
No, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it a lot. I really liked the way it started with the whole idea of what happens after.
Mm-hmm.
Because we never get that. You know, you see these fantasy stories and these great, sweeping adventures and all of that, but nobody ever talks about what happens afterward. And how, when you've had a war, how do these traumatized people go home and everything just be normal again? And I really loved that. Like that from the very beginning, I was in it. I just 100% I was in it. I loved the dragons.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yep, dragons. Yep.
And dragon riders.
The dragon riders. And, gay dragon riders, hey, sign me
Yeah.
up. I like it. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it. I did give it 3 stars, but I love the world building and the magic system, and the characters were great. For me, a lot of the issues were the plot a little bit, and I'll get into that a little bit later. But I did give it 3 stars. I really enjoyed it, though. It was a fun and really good debut. It was a strong debut, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Like you did, like sometimes when you read a debut, you could tell when it's a debut. And this one was really strong, I thought. And I'm excited to see what this author has in store. I think they've announced another book that's not in this duology. That's like its own another work, which is interesting. Let's see. I like that it started at the epilogue. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The YA got me. Okay, yeah. I could see that. Yeah, this is a very YA story.
Yeah.
I actually kind of agree with Courtney where some of the themes I would be interested to see how it would translate into an adult novel.
Hi, princess.
Oh shit! That was
Yes, it's me.
I can't think on the top of my head of any similar vibe Rex at the top of my head.
No, I'd have to really think about it, and even then, it would be like, do you want the dragon stuff or do you want the teen stuff? Like,
or do you want the
or do you want like the Caribbean island stuff? Like, trying to find something that has similar vibes in all three.
There was, I just read one. Witches Steeped in Gold was Jamaican inspired.
Yeah.
So there's that.
But they're two different books though too.
Yeah, very different.
Sure.
Very different.
I'm trying to think like the mythical like creatures and all
Yeah.
that. I don't think so.
Princess should have guessed that it was you.
Because I went from being like, I don't know if I'm gonna read this book to like, hey guys, I'm reading the
book. I'm so surprised. Dragons? Oh, there's a lot of good dragon books. Like,
you want Dragon Rex? Jen and I got you.
Yeah. I mean, if you want lesbian Dragon Rex, Priory is the Orange Tree, but that is not a beginner guide to fantasy book.
No, it's sheep chunky.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 800 pages of lesbian dragon riders.
Yeah.
I'm so pissed how dare others get to spend time with you.
Just lucky, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like the tropes that were there, they didn't feel tropey, if that makes sense. Like it didn't feel like it's been seen. The way it was done, I thought was pretty interesting.
And I like the unique and fresh. Yes, it felt new. It felt like this was an I mean, you've got these things, but it's a new
yeah, like in a way I knew where it was going, but I didn't know where it was going at the end.
Yeah, the end surprised me. I was like, ooh.
But then when we got there, I went, I like it.
Yeah.
Like it felt very cyclical, which I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone is fired. So the next thing, we've kind of already discussed this, but like, what did you guys think? We'll kind of into that topic next, of the world building and the world that she created, the magic system, the dragons, the gods, like all that, which was probably the strongest part of the book for me. What did you guys think of that?
The world building definitely very, very strong.
I felt like we could walk down the street.
Yes.
Yeah. I felt it when we were walking down the street. Like I could smell the food cooking and the sizzle of the oil and the sand beneath your feet and hearing the ocean in the background. Like the way she describes like the town is phenomenal. And the clothes too. Like the way she described clothing.
Right.
Like I could picture it.
Yeah. No, like Helen knows I'm a sucker for ancestral magic.
Oh, that was, and I loved how powerful it was. Like when the queen got pissed,
that
it was like, oh shit, here we go. Like she took down an adult dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Spoilers for everybody. That like, if you haven't read the book, there are very heavy spoilers in this chat. But my favorite part was when the queen took on that dragon at the end.
That I was like, oh shit. And then she just like Storm just like raised herself up.
I'm gonna go kick some ass.
Right. Excuse me while I become an absolute badass.
Excuse me, get out of my home.
But I love the fact that like the ancestral magic was like you also were speaking to your ancestors in a way.
Yes.
And they came into you and became a part of you and you got to see them.
Yeah.
And yeah, like a few times I was almost crying.
Yeah.
'Cause-
And I thought that was an interesting take on like having the people, like especially the Jamaican or I believe this is Jamaican inspired, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
Or yeah, because you were saying Caribbean, but like ancestors and stuff is a big deal to like people of color, especially more than like
Yeah.
a colonized community. And I like that aspect of their magic was kind of what gave them the strength to fight the colonization.
Mhm.
And I thought that was really interesting that like when she had the bond with the dragon, that kind of like took off.
Yeah,
That
like there was no
and
she was
yeah,
cut off from her homeland. She was cut off from
Yes.
her ancestors. And
Yes.
I felt that, like that
Mhm.
pain. Like cuz she was like, "Oh, I'm, hundreds of miles away or whatever, but I can still like summon my aunts, right?" And then it was like,
Right.
"No, you can't." And she felt like that feeling of being so alone.
Hmm.
Like,
oh, and yeah, the god magic. I love
yeah.
the gods. The way the
Oh, yeah.
gods were described
I'd
was
love
so
I'd
interesting.
love to in the second one we see the other countries because it's hinted at that every country or every culture has their own way of doing
Yeah,
soul magic. So like with our main characters it's through their ancestors, and through the colonizers it's through bonding with the dragon, and the soul of your soul becomes tied to the dragon's soul. So I'm curious in the other cultures how they use the soul to
yeah.
have magic.
One of my complaints, as much as I love that this started in the aftermath of war, I needed a little more about the war. Nothing big, but like maybe a chapter dedicated to catch up. I could see this because there's a lot of parts where we
Mhm.
flashed back to stuff that happened in the war, so much that to me it felt like that we had already read that, and this was like to me, I could see
It
that
could
because
have
it
done with
felt
maybe a
like
prologue.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I did like about how this is them dealing with the trauma of the war.
Yeah, like that's not what this story is about. This story is about dealing with the aftermath and what comes next and how do we rebuild.
Yeah. And I
Yeah,
think to Courtney's point that she was just about to make, that colonization is huge in this book. I really liked the connection between what we were just talking about with the separation from the ancestors. And it really speaks to a theme to me, an idea of how colonization and the efforts of colonizing peoples to separate indigenous people from their history and their culture.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
remember there's that part about learning the language of the colonizers in
Yes.
school, and then it was like, no, you're not doing that. You are learning our language.
yeah, and they talk
And then
about
to
like
the
how
point where they couldn't speak it at
yeah,
all.
Yeah.
I thought I was like, ooh, that was a good
and
good
like
line.
I do like kind of going on what you're saying, Jen, that the dragon bond and stuff that Elena, or what did we say her name was?
Alara.
Alara.
Alara goes through is very an assimilation almost to it
Mhm.
Yes.
that she kind of is forced into. That
Mhm.
it strips her knowledge, it strips her of her magic in a way that's like, let's be like everybody else, kind of.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And the Star Wars summary intro, not just the land, but colonization of the people themselves. Exactly.
Yeah.
The story was not about the war, but they were trying to build relationships with the colonizers towards peace. Exactly. Yeah. And like I
Yeah.
like that because it's true. It's like not the real world, as we all know, is not. You don't get that like they lived happily ever after. There is
Mhm.
still a lot that needs to happen after, and
And
I
that
do like.
and that you still have to deal with a power that you've now pissed off,
Yeah.
and like you have to set up your own allies in return to make yourself so thorny so that they don't want to try it again, because
Yeah.
they will try it again.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like if real history is anything to go by, like the history of the Caribbean I think is one of the most fought over areas of the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
Like the amount of time that islands went back from English to French to Spanish to Portuguese to the Dutch is wild. Let
And they
alone what happened before all of that.
Yeah, and they kind of talked about that in the book when you had the name. Like, I don't want to just call them the English, but they're the English.
Yeah, the English.
They colonized this place because they were the saviors
That
from
came
the
in.
previous colonizers.
Yeah, because they used them as the previous had used them as slaves in the mines, and then these guys were the
Oh, we're better than that.
yeah, we freed you. You're no longer slaves.
You just gotta.
You just have to put up with dragons coming and torching the odd village every now
Yeah,
randomly.
I do like that because clearly this is inspired by like Jamaica and England. That the dragons are such a like, especially like Western dragons are such an English creature.
Well, they're literally the symbol of England.
So I do like that was used. Exactly. Yeah. Puerto Rico, Hawaii.
Guam.
Yeah.
I can't remember how many. There's a couple other in the South Pacific that the state still has colonies technically.
And so, in case we'll see it here, we'll see it every video. Free these places that they put colonizers. That this Free Palestine just gotta say it in any video.
Yeah. Just putting that out there right now.
Make sure nobody thinking any otherwise.
Yeah, we're literally talking about a book that's all about colonization, and the word colonization is used throughout the book.
Yeah. Yep.
Like, there is no hemming and hawing about it. So
okay, so I guess we'll get into characters now.
All right.
What was, if you guys had a favorite character, least favorite characters? What are your thoughts on our main characters and our villain? Wherever you want to go with first.
I'll go. I loved Alara, the sister that bonds with the dragon, and her dragon rider friend. Like, I loved their dynamic.
Yeah,
it was really fun. I also really liked was it Reeve, the hostage.
Oh yeah.
He's not Prince, but
yeah, and the queen. I love the queen. I felt but I will say the main character, I wanted to like shake her so many times. Like,
she was so frustrating. She's like 16 and
but I was gonna say, but she felt so teenagery. Like, she felt real, like a real teenager. So it was like, I get it. I get it, but at the same time, talk to your fucking sister. How about you talk to the queen?
Yeah. Like,
I know her and the queen don't get along, and their relationship, I loved their relationship, like how complex and layered it was, and how they both like couldn't stand each other, because to look at each other meant to relive trauma and to realize that they both put each other where they are now, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And
that they're kind of both responsible for each other's pain at the moment.
Yeah.
In a way that's like, it's not like they hurt each other.
No.
Like, they like vindictively did it. It was just because of situations they are responsible for.
And then because of their age and because of their responsibilities, they haven't been able to hash it out together, to have that discussion of like, hey, we both hurt each other a lot unknowingly, and we need to be able to work together in order to make this country like come back. And we need to but they haven't been able to have that discussion, both because they're both so young and immature, and they don't know how to.
And then the world is also like on fire around them, so like
but even in like the past 5 years, like they should have been able to have that hash out together, but because they're both so young and they don't know, they haven't been able to do it. So and like Courtney says, and the PTSD is still so strong too.
I was like, you need therapy.
Yes. Oh my God. The entire book needed a therapist.
Everyone needs therapy.
I did like. This doesn't sound fucked up to say. I like the trauma these characters had, and like the one scene that really stuck out to me, and which is why I would want this book to be adult. Like, the scene where I was really like, I wonder how this would be in an adult novel, is when the sister is in the morgue area.
Ooh.
and she has that panic attack.
Mm.
And it's kind of glossed over. Like it happens and then it's over.
And then she has to snap out of it.
And it's not talked about again. And so I wondered that if like this was an adult book where you're kind of allowed to go into more of those deeper like themes, what would have happened?
I will say I do love the villain and how in a way he wasn't just like mwahaha for the glory of, you know, the empire and blah blah blah. It turns out it was because of his son.
Yeah.
And the love he had for his son, and then that son.
Well, I mean, he was also for the glory of the empire.
Oh yes, but like that was the thing that pushed him over the edge, right? Was for his son.
Yeah.
So
still a racist asshole.
Oh yeah, like he was still 100% like in a way a mustache twirling villain. Like, whoa, you guys are now hostages in my castle that is made out of like dragon bones and shit. Like,
I appreciate how Alara wanted to get out of Fallon's shadow and be her own right. Yeah, and I thought that was very real as well. Like being an older sibling, having your young, like, I don't know if anybody else is like an older sibling with the younger sibling shining or whatever like that, or being the favorite or whatever. That felt very real. Of like, I love you and I will do everything to protect you, but I also am extremely jealous. Of the limelight you're getting. The plot twist definitely was twisting. I think the ending was the strongest part of the book.
Yeah.
I had no idea what was going on. I was at like the edge of my seat listening to it. Like,
I didn't listen to the audiobook, so what would you rate the audiobook on just an audiobook, like comparing it to other audiobooks?
It was simple, but the narrator did a very good job. The narrators did a very good job of it. Like, if it had been like a full cast audio or something, like it would have been phenomenal. But I think it was a very good, simple audiobook. Like, it was a good listening experience.
It was strong.
Yeah.
I love the siblings' connection and love. Okay.
Yeah.
No, I think the sibling dynamic was really strong in it. I think she focused a lot on that and did a really good job on that.
Yeah, and then also like with the dragon rider and her sibling, how she's like, I need him to live.
Yeah.
Like he cannot because he cannot be held culpable for this.
Yeah.
And then in the end it didn't matter anyways. As we knew. Like,
I feel a jealousy between the sisters. I felt pure love, but just wanting to do something different. I agree, but I do think there were hints of like that jealousy.
There was some jealousy, but she wouldn't put that name to it in her own head.
I think I think she was feeling it, but she didn't want to own it. Which, I mean, I can understand that. I can understand why she wouldn't want to own that.
Yeah.
You know,
I feel like
you get that there's a guilt involved in feeling that jealousy.
Especially with your sister being the chosen one, the child Empyrean. Like,
right.
Like, there's a lot there to unpack.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting of like, jealousy is a natural human feeling. And that it is one of those feelings like that we, because it can lead to bad stuff, but it is a natural feeling. But
only if you let it fester.
Yeah,
jealousy turn into something. Because it can also push you to be better. And then she was also self-aware enough to realize it, but she just didn't want to name it in her head. So she was able to be like,
also we're sort of conditioned to see jealousy as a negative emotion.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm going at. No, but and I agree. That's good that there's different ways to read the dynamics. That I think that showed how strong their dynamic was.
Yeah,
and how much, and the fact that they cared for each other so much that showed through.
Yeah. Hey, Renee.
Yeah, no, she was like wasn't she like the most gifted?
Yeah, summoner.
Projector.
Yeah,
basically in the kingdom.
Yeah,
other than the queen.
I mean, she was still a war hero.
Yeah.
And then the fact, I got mad when her parents blamed her for her sister sneaking off. Like, I felt that. I felt that as an older sibling.
My favorite though was when at the very beginning when she sneaks out and then her sister's waiting there for her and she's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, by the way, we have to be back by 9 or by 5 a.m. because mom does her like nightly walk around because she panics and the sister's like, wait, how often do you do this that you know that so casually?
American
That
thing.
got me. Like after that line, I was like, this is gonna be good.
Yeah. I guess we can get into a question if you guys had any like I can discuss it here. Like any issues you had with the book or anything like that?
What's her name? Was frustrating as hell.
I
Farron.
think
Farron.
Yeah.
my issues aren't like character issues, it's pacing a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. It did
Because the like fact that she went from trusting him, like she met him one chapter and then she kind of I didn't feel the time that he had convincing her, kind of, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if like I just didn't feel it, but there was just a lot of things that were kind of clicked over real quick for me that I was like, okay, I felt like we're not taking enough time here, but it was still didn't like damper my enjoyment of the book. Oh yeah, well,
yeah, I found that interesting that
yeah.
was the choice that was made.
Was the other dragon rider white though? I
No,
don't.
I don't know
I
because
didn't
she's
read her as
also
white.
part of like a colonized country.
Yeah, I read her as
technically.
Asian because her last name was Slit Soto.
Yeah,
So
Yeah.
I read her as Asian.
yeah, because she's from a colonized country, but one that has been colonized for so long
Yeah,
that like their
they kind of
culture,
assimilated into it.
they've assimilated for the most part, but her family has tried to keep their
I mean,
ancestral.
probably know she could be like Welsh, but
Yeah, like she honestly, yeah, that could make sense.
because like
Welsh or Scottish
yeah.
or
But
Irish.
I because her last name was Soto, in my head I was picturing like, and I think they said her skin was darker. She had a darker skin tone than
Yeah.
when she said she had a darker skin tone than any of the like English people she'd ever met.
Mm.
So I pictured her as like POC, just not Jamaican. But that is a good point to bring up, Courtney, that like it is a problem in a lot of like fantasy and stuff and just fiction that it seems that people are more likely to do interracial relationships than like instead of that.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that Farron would just stay
Yeah.
asexual the entire time and not aromantic, which I understand like why, and it is nice to have that representation there too.
Mm.
But I don't know, I was kind of hoping that she would stay single
Me too.
or
I
not
was
be
too.
attracted or maybe be like passingly attracted to someone or be like, oh, they're like interesting.
Yeah.
Right. But
Agreed. Pacing. I needed more background in the dragon lore connection. I wonder if
I think next book.
I think we are going to get more in the next book because of like the reveals that we got.
Mm-hmm.
But I agree, like you're agreeing with me on the pacing. But to that point of like maybe the reason she gave him that love interest in him is so that we would care more about him.
Mm-hmm.
So
So that when he gets sucked into,
she had a reason to care.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because it was the sister's best friend, not her.
Yeah, and she didn't trust him 3/4 of the
Yeah.
book. Like she was like, "You're a spy," the entire time. Like you're spying for your dad. Like
just in this whole No, I agree. I see that why you would say that.
yeah, I thought that too near the end. I was like, "That's a interesting choice that she
Yeah.
decided to make." But who knows? Like honestly, I have like my thoughts for the second. I think Reeve will die.
I do too.
Mm.
He's not long for this.
I think he will in the end sacrifice himself fully to protect Farron and the sister.
But what did you guys think of our big bad? Our like the dragon, evil Satan dragon, and like the origins of dragons. How like dragons? Were you like sad that the gods are like kill all the dragons?
Yeah, kind of.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I feel like they're going to be able to find a good middle ground. Mm-hmm. I think what'll happen is the dragons will become less powerful. Like they'll be cut off somehow. they'll be able to find a way to cut the dragons off completely from like the source
Yeah.
of whatever. So the dragons will lose some of their power.
Make it smaller.
They get smaller. They won't be able to fly as fast. They won't like, you know, they won't have like unlimited fire. I don't know exactly how they work, like how they have their firepower, but like maybe they won't have as much of it. Like, and they seem to be able to fly very fast, very far.
Yeah.
Which I was like trying to picture like just how far away
Yeah.
is this? Like, is it like say to like Florida or Mexico? Like, if this is Jamaica, like where are no, they're not going all the way to England, are they? Like, how does this work?
Because like that is because they were like what the minute that she frees them, they're able to get there real quick.
Yeah. Actually, one thing I wanted to talk about, the level of technology I found really interesting. They had like flying ships.
Yeah.
Electricity and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. You don't expect that in a fantasy novel.
No. And I don't know, that it was jarring for the first little bit. But then I got used to it and it was interesting that that they had these special like ships.
Yeah.
Any other like I mean, so we kind of already talked about the themes of the novel, which a lot of it was like colonization bad.
Yeah.
Which, like, we all agree. We should all agree in the but and we talked about the familial bonds, so that was another part I had. So I guess I'll ask if you guys had any other parts you wanted to bring up or chat. If you guys had any parts, specific scenes you wanted to talk about.
We haven't really talked about the gods themselves.
Oh
yeah.
And I do like that there's a few times where Farron's like, they're lying to me. I know they're lying to me. So fuck you. Like fuck the gods then. Like, but at the same time, like it later became like they were justified in their lying to you because you weren't listening to what they were saying.
Yeah.
Either, but
I mean, yes and no. I think a lot of what happened is because the gods wouldn't get the gods wouldn't get, real and honest.
Yeah. They didn't like
been really honest with her, things might have turned out differently.
Yeah, if they had told her like, look, we fucked up like 500 years ago.
Right.
Is that them being shady or is that them just being deities? Like,
I think that's them being gods and not realizing how stubborn mortals will be.
Yeah. Especially
a teenage girl that's had this power since she was 13. Or like, no, she's also 10.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, your sister has to die.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we're gonna kill your sister. Fuck
no.
The one person in my life that likes me for me.
Yeah. I think the fuck not.
And I will lie to you and steal my way out of this.
I like the description of the gods too, especially like the moon god, just the way he would like show up and shake his head, kind of like was funny to me.
Yeah, just like he gave off that aura of like disappointed dad.
But it's also how the society that just broke away from colonization struggles to create autonomy. No, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
And I would love to see more of that too. But talking about the gods, we could also talk about like the child emporium aspect of it too, and the like whole chosen one. And I really did like the discussions that when in the end when the sister had to talk to the gods.
Yeah.
And she became the new chosen one. And I like she's like, you're not calling me the child, I'm like 18.
Yeah.
I'm not a child.
I am not a child.
You're not my real dad.
And I think it's interesting to talk about how they chose a child.
Yeah.
Or like how they just chose literally the first prayer that they heard.
Yeah.
Like there was no process.
Yeah. They chose a child, so someone you would think would be easily to lead.
Yeah, easily manipulated.
Yeah.
But they chose like one of the most strong-headed.
Oops.
Yeah, she did assert her autonomy. Even though I would have, if I was her, one thing that irritated me, I would have maybe checked in with the gods a little bit more when the guy showed up to be like, can we kind of question these gods about like,
Yeah.
I felt like she was real quick to turn the gods off and not talk to them again.
Yeah.
I think it made sense though, because they'd constantly been like at her.
Mhm.
And she
Yeah.
finally thought that she found someone who was giving her more answers and who was treating her like with respect.
Yeah.
So she was just eating it up. Like,
I wish they had gone more into why gods cared / didn't care. I think we will be getting more into that now that the sister is gonna have the relationship with the gods in the next book.
yeah, because I feel like the sister will be like, "You're telling me
Yeah.
what I
Like-
need to know," and don't.
Like she's not gonna shut them down the way that Fallon did. We're kind of Fallon went against them, but she kind of like shut it down completely. She dropped the ball. Like
she'd get mad. She'd get mad and then walk away.
Yeah. Fallon's gonna get
Well,
mad.
she was going to her room and slamming the door.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas
And
Alara would get mad and then be like, "No, we're gonna pinpoint this and like figure it out."
That made sense to me. To give the power to the first pair. Remember, colonization is also about forgetting African traditional religions. Yes, I agree. That is a good point to bring up.
Well, that's part of how the new, well, when I say new, they're over 500 years old. The religions of the modern Caribbean happened because they took the traditional African religions and they mixed it with Catholicism.
That's how you got like some
That's voodoo and
Santeria, even like certain Brujeria traditions are like indigenous plus Catholicism plus some African like spirituality all zhuzhed together. But I really did like that. I'm excited to see more of what the gods can do and what like how we're going to get into this. And like I would love to see more of this world too, like because they said that each of the worlds had a magic system. So like where or what else can we do?
Yeah.
And that I might ask that question to I'm gonna get to see the author. She'll be at Y'all West.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm gonna ask what is the love interest? Is she? Because I was picturing Asian.
Yeah, like ask her what is she?
Yeah, find out.
What are you basing it on? Like,
yeah, is she like? Cause I was picturing Asian, but then I thought maybe she's like, is she Wales or is it like?
Yeah, I could see it being Welsh because they've been
now that
colonized by England the longest.
Yeah, now that I've said it, and it like the fact that family and those people have the best connection to dragons,
and the Welsh have the dragon, and that's where King Arthur is from as well.
Could be Welsh.
So that's what I'm. Now that I've said it out loud.
Yeah, and like Welsh are the Britons, like the ones that were there when the Romans were there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas the rest of the English are Anglo-Saxons and Normans and all that. So
they're really beautiful, and the gods and goddesses are. Yeah, I love the description of the goddesses and the gods. Yeah. Like the goddess of stars, how she looked like gorgeous, like her hair.
I think she was my favorite goddess. Like of the three, I think I liked her the most. Just I don't know, something about her.
I think mine was the moon god, just because he made me laugh when he would just show up and shake his head and like.
He's just like,
It is. I'm terrible with names.
I don't know.
So she could be Spanish. She could be.
Well, because there wasn't a map, was there?
There wasn't one in the ebook.
I'm not getting up for my physical.
Yeah, Peggy, child, please.
I was not paying attention and picked up the book on a whim from live. I don't think I knew. No, I think I knew it was a series. But I'm not sure.
I think I just assumed because it was a fantasy.
Yeah.
I mean, she could have been Spanish, like we said. That is a good question to ask.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was a map in the physical book.
Oh.
Okay. Like I said.
I should buy the physical book.
Far. You should.
I don't have any money.
Hey, support who you could support.
Right.
Paco, you should write that down. Write that down so you don't forget.
Right.
What?
To ask Camilla Cole what the
Writes it on my hand.
That'll stick around for a month and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I wonder if it's like,
Oh, and the second
Yeah.
comes out. Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
excited to see what the cover's gonna look like.
Oh yeah.
We love a cover reveal. I don't think it has a title yet to the Goodreads. I will go.
No, it still says untitled.
Yeah.
Oh, and the other book that she has announced is adult dark academia thriller.
Princess, if you're still in
I was
chat.
just about to say.
No, she's already added it because we were talking about it privately.
Fine,
I found it.
You're trying not to get fired, I see.
And it's an adult speculative dark academia thriller.
Oh shit!
I will be excited. Oh, yes.
She's on it. She's on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I like
That's
I said.
why it's interesting.
It'll be fun to ask her.
The Sinister Elite by Camilla Cole, Princess. You've already added it. I have Goodreads up right now, and I can see that you've already added it, so don't worry.
But I think I can't think of any other like topics. If you guys have any, and if chat has any, let me know before we slide into closing thoughts and talking about our next book and plans.
Say that again, because I was adding the book to my list.
I'm already stalking you. Oh God. I was saying if I'm out of things topics. If you guys have any like things you also want to talk about, before we talk about the next book, what we have planned for the next month for the read our debuathon and things like that. How can they started a bunch of cursing halfway through? I didn't notice that, but I do think I remember some F-bombs being dropped.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Hey,
maybe because in the beginning they're at home and then they're at court technically, right? So they kind of have to be on their best behavior. Yeah. And then when things go to shit, it's like, well, fuck it.
Well, fuck everything.
So I don't know. Or maybe the author, or maybe she just started writing swears and then it was like, oh well.
It's fair. Exactly. I don't remember the cursing either.
Yeah, I don't remember it. Now that you mentioned it, Courtney, I'm like,
yeah, I don't remember it. So, but I can totally see it happening. I can totally see it happening, especially especially for Alara, if she was, because she's away from everybody and she's among, I guess peers or whatever for the first time by herself with people who don't have preconceived notions of her.
Yeah. Well, they do.
But they do.
Well, yeah.
They do, but it's racial rather than familial.
Yeah.
But
it's racism.
Yeah, it's racist rather than your sister is the chosen one and you're the like steadfast sister, warrior sister kind of thing. So
I mean, with the amount of swear, I could see it going over my head.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, same. Like, and especially
as or not, but I cuss like a sailor. So
yeah, and especially as a teenager, like I think every second word out of my
mouth. I mean, who hasn't like almost been killed by a dragon and first thought was fuck shit? Oh no! Like,
shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Like
their thought process if they're almost about to die isn't just be.
Oh, hey now.
Hey now.
Okay, so I think I could get the next book because it's on my desk, right?
It's raised by parasailors, so I came by it naturally, right?
Yeah.
Hey, Scorpio.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Scorpio.
Oh, I've never seen your profile pic before. I love it.
I think they've been in Christine's sprints, right?
Well, that would explain it. I can never get there.
I know they were in my sprints this past Saturday. So.
I don't know. I just heard someone say Scorpio when I was watching someone's sprint, so.
Oh.
And then Scorpio. Okay. So, The next book for our debut-a-thon will be Voyage of the Damned by Francis White. This is a book that came out in the UK, so I think it's available in America.
Let me double check.
I got it
don't
from
think
Waterstone.
it is.
Let's see.
It's coming out in August.
Uh-oh.
So
America.
we might move the date around for this then. We might. We will discuss that and we will let y'all know.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Because we also might not.
There's
Huh?
nothing else out yet.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's what I'm thinking about. Like, there's nothing else out.
There's nothing else out yet. Well,
because they pushed the book back.
To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods comes out in April. So I guess we could move that one.
We'll discuss this.
We'll talk about it. Yeah.
Off camera.
We'll talk about it after.
So, but the next sprints will, if Helen will be there.
I will do my best.
We're gonna have multiple, so it's not gonna be like just one. We will.
Uh-oh. We lost Paco, y'all.
We lost him again.
You're doing so well too.
I don't know if you guys just say, "Oh no," but Helen will join us. But anything else?
Next sprints.
Yeah, next month's sprints. Which next sprints will be on my channel because the talk for the next book is going to be on Jen's channel.
Yes.
And we'll be swapping like that, and then we will have a special guest.
Yes.
They will make an appearance.
Dun dun dun. Stay
We
tuned
don't know
to
which
see
guest
who it
it
is.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, but let's see. At least it's a cute priest. I have new friends in the work, and she budget. You have a new friend?
Wait, excuse me.
What? And you were getting
mad at me for hanging out with these two.
We have to meet and vet this friend.
This is not. We're not having this.
It better not be another Bumble friend. But trying to think of anything else because this blew me off. But if plans stay the same, we will be doing this book, which is a murder mystery fantasy set on a boat. Very queer.
On like a fancy cruise ship like thing, right?
Yeah, I think it's the representatives of like kingdoms or something like that. Or districts, I think. Yeah, because like bear, ox. This is queer. So very excited to get into this. Very excited for the discussion on it. Oh God. I was waiting for all the friends being jealous. Y'all been living. I had to find someone.
Excuse me.
Funny, she's from Mumble, but y'all will always be my main people.
Better.
She works there. But yeah, so Voyage of the Damned will be unless plans change, the talk for April.
In which case there will be an announcement.
Yeah, which will be the talk for April from Jen. After that, what month is the next one?
No, it's going to be May.
No, June.
July?
The talk will be in May.
Oh, the talk for this will be in May.
The talk for Voyage of the Damned will be in May.
Will be in May. I'll be reading this in April unless things change. But the talk for Voyage of the Damned will be in May. And then in July, we will, unless a book is pushed back again.
Right.
And then we got to fight some publishers. The Poison We Drink.
Yep. Bethany Baptiste.
And then after that is To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mistress of Lies will round it out.
Yep.
And then hopefully we'll maybe have a whole at the end of the year. I want to maybe, if we can, do a big video live where we talk about all of them, or just like rate them or something like that with our former guest members, if they can make it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, there's always been an option when you create your Bumble like profile, you can click if you're interested in dating or interested in friends.
Princess has done
Yeah.
this before.
Yep.
Mhm. With interesting results. Let's just I was there for that.
Oh my.
She is a preschool teacher. Okay, so we're actually meeting up tomorrow in a public space, of course. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Dating app. Does she talk to your voice?
Oh shit. Did I miss something?
Oh, okay. You've read the poison drink. Trying not to die. Mood. You better. We're gonna.
Mhm.
Like, sir.
Right?
I mean, she did invite our whole side piece to the wedding. She did invite
True.
Lynn, who she constantly calls her girlfriend, on YouTube. Currently, she's all like confused. I was like, let me catch up.
Right. It didn't take long either, did it? We've
No.
only been 50 minutes.
But I want to thank Helen for me.
Yes.
Exactly. That's all it is. We talk about
Honestly, Tea and Talk Shit could be a channel segment on any of our lives.
Yep.
If you are ever in any of our sprints we do, Tea and Talk Shit is a main thing.
Pretty much. That's like the big draw.
Yeah, like the reading is a minimum. It's the talking shit and gossiping the entire time.
Exactly. And roasting each other.
Yeah.
But I want to thank from the bottom of my heart Helen for being able to make it. I know you had like a last minute work where you had to like rush over here, and so I appreciate that you were able to do that.
Thanks for inviting me. I was except I was actually really glad I read this. This really like reinvigorated YA, I think, in a way.
Dude, I haven't read a YA before this in a minute. I don't know. Margaret Rogerson, I did read that in December.
Yeah. But I don't know, this felt like the potential for YA fantasy, I think.
Yeah. And so, reached that. Jen, you're my partner in crime in this. We're stuck with each other for now. But if you guys have any other night's thoughts, Princess, after I end the stream, might add you to the chat if you want to talk shit. Or we might jump on Discord. We'll see. But if you guys have any thoughts, last minute thoughts, you can add them. Or if you guys have, Jen is doing sprints tomorrow on their channel. Jen,
10
get
o'clock.
clear. If you're not subscribe. Their channel will be in the description after this video is uploaded. Friday from me next Friday. So this live is Friday's video. You guys will have my April TBR, the magical real readathon, William TBR.
Yeah, mine comes out Tuesday.
It's over there. I'm not gonna be Princess and show it in the video and then get mad at y'all for seeing it. Princess says, nice to see you. 1,000, even though your name is Helen.
I am a woman of many names.
But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I don't know if you guys have anything else you want to add.
Thanks for being here. Free Palestine.
Yeah, Palestine. Drink tea and talk shit.
That's
gonna be my new thing to end the video. But
bye.